ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி. எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கம். நம்ம எல்லோரும் மிகவும் பணிவோட ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜியை நமஸ்காரம் பண்ணி மெதுவாக குண்டலினி உயர்த்தி பந்தன் போட்டுக்கொள்வோம். ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி. சந்தோஷ சித்தத்தோடு குழந்தை நிலையில் தெய்வீக அன்னையை பார்ப்போம். கருணாமயி ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜியோட திருமுகத்தை பார்ப்போம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தயவு செய்து எங்களுடைய ஹிருதயத்துக்குள் வாருங்கள் தாய். ஹிருதய நிவாசினி, சாட்சி ஸ்வரூபியா எங்களுடைய ஹிருதய கமலத்தில் அமருங்கள். இன்றைய தியானத்துக்கு அனுமதியை தந்து வழி நடத்துங்கள் தாய். மெதுவாக நம்முடைய கண்கள் மூடிக்கொள்வோம். கவனம் நம்முடைய இன்றைய நிலையை கவனிப்போம். இரண்டு உள்ளங்கையும் சகஸ்ராரத்தில் கவனத்தை வைத்து இரண்டு கைகளும் மடியிலேருந்து மேல கொஞ்சம் வசதி வச்சு கூட நம்ம பார்க்கலாம். அன்னையோட இணைப்பை தெய்வீக நுண்ணுதல்கள் மூலமா நம்மளால உணர முடியறதான்னு கவனிப்போம். அமைதியாக சில நொடிகள் காத்திருக்கும். மெதுவாக நம்முடைய வலது கை சகஸ்ராரத்தை கொஞ்சம் மேல வைத்து பார்ப்போம். இந்த முழு கவனம் நம்மளுடைய சகஸ்ராரமும் வலது உள்ளங்கை நடுவுல நம்ம என்ன உணர்வோம் அது மீதே வைப்போம். மெதுவாக வலது கை மடிக்கி கொண்டு வருவோம். கவனம் சகஸ்ராரத்துக்கு கொஞ்சம் மேலே வைத்து சாட்சி பாவத்தில் நம்மளுடைய ஸ்தூல சரீரத்தை பார்ப்போம். இரண்டு உள்ளங்கைகளில் என்ன உணர்வும்னு கவனிக்கலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி. தங்கள் அருளால் நான் ஒரு தூய ஆத்மாதான். இன்றைய தியானம் முழுவதும் எங்களுக்கு ஆத்ம நிலையை தந்தருளுங்கள் தாயே. நாங்கள் இந்த குழப்பமாக இருக்கிற மனம் இல்லை, நியாயப்படுத்துகிற புத்தி இல்லை, ஆதிக்கம் செலுத்த அகங்காரம் இல்லை, சுக துக்க அனுபவிக்கிற இந்த சரீரமும் இல்லை. தங்கள் அருளால் நாங்கள் தூய ஆத்மா மட்டுமே. இதே நிலையில் மூன்று மகாமந்திரத்தை கூறுவோம். ஓம் त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः. ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः. ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्षप्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः. மெதுவாக நம்முடைய கவனம் நம்முடைய ஸ்தூல சரீரம், நம்முடைய சுஷும்னா நாடி வழியாக மூலாதார சக்கரத்துக்கு கொண்டு வருவோம். ஸ்ரீ கணேச மந்திரம். ஓம் त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री गणेश साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः. கண்கள் மூடிய நிலையில் இரண்டு உள்ளங்கையும் பூமி தாய் மீது வைப்போம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, ஸ்ரீ ஆதி பூமி மாதா, தயவு செய்து எங்களுடைய ஸ்தூல சரீரமும் சூக்ஷ்ம சரீரத்தை தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள் தாயே. லோகவனம் 2 உள்ளங்கையும் சஹஸ்ராரம். நம்முடைய கவனமும் பிரார்த்தனையும் மிகவும் சக்தி வாய்ந்தது. கவனம் 2 உள்ளங்கையில் வைத்து மனதார பிரார்த்திப்போம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தயவு செய்து எங்களை பாதிக்கிற எல்லா எதிர்மறைகளையும் பூமி மார்க்கமாக நீக்கி விடுங்கள். आदि भूमि माता साक्षात ओम त्वमेव साक्षात श्री आदि भूमि माता साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः. இரண்டு கைகளும் ஆகாயத்தை நோக்கி வைப்போம். கழுத்தும் மேல் நோக்கி வைத்து கண்கள் மூடி இருக்கட்டும். பரம சைத்தன்யத்தை 2 உள்ளங்கை வழியாக விரல்கள் வழியாக உள்வாங்கிப்போம். மனதார பிரார்த்திக்கலாம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே சாக்ஷாத் ஸ்ரீ ஆகாஷ தேவதா. தயவு செய்து எங்களுடைய சக்கரங்களும் நாடிகளையும் பாதிக்கிற எல்லா எதிர்மறைகளையும் ஆகாய மார்க்கமாக நீக்கிவிடுங்கள். அதிகப்படியான சிந்தனையும் திட்டமிடுதலினால் எங்களுக்குள் உள்ள அதிகப்படியான உஷ்ணத்தையும் வாயு மார்க்கமாக நீக்கிவிடுங்கள். எங்களை தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள். மெதுவாக 2 கைகளும் மடித்து கொண்டு வருவோம். கவனம் சுஷும்னா நாடி. ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தயவு செய்து தாங்களுடைய பஞ்ச மகாபூத தத்துவத் வழியாக எங்களுக்கு முழு சமநிலையை தந்தருளுங்கள் தாயே. எங்களுடைய கவனத்தை தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள். நிகழ்காலத்தில் தியான நிலையில் நிலைநிறுத்துங்கள் தாயே. மெதுவாக நம்முடைய கவனம் மூலாதார சக்கரம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, ஸ்ரீ மூலாதார சக்கர சுவாமினி, தயவு செய்து எங்களுக்குள் ஸ்ரீ கணேசா ஸ்ரீ கார்த்திகேயாவோட எல்லா குணங்களும் சக்திகளையும் தந்தருளுங்கள். தூய்மையும் மங்களத்தோடு நிரப்பி விடுங்கள் தாயே. गणेश चतुर शीर्षे पूर्व ओम नमस्ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं धर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं कल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षादात्मासि नित्यं हृदं वच्मि सत्यं वच्मि अवत्वं मामवक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवदातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुचानमवशिष्यम् अवपश्चातात् अवपुरस्तात् अवोत्तरातात् अवदक्षिणातात् अवचोद्वातात् अवाधरातात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात् त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः त्वम् आनन्दमयस्त्वं ब्रह्ममयः त्वं सच्चिदानन्दाद्वितीयोऽसि त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तो जायते सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तः सृष्टति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि लयमेष्यति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति त्वं भूमिरापो नलो निलो नभः त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः त्वं देहत्रयातीतः त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यं त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः त्वां योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यं त्वं ब्रह्मा त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वम् इन्द्रस्त्वम् अग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्वरों गणादीं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादीं तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वार परतरः अर्धेन्दुलसितं तारेण ऋतम् एतत्तव मनुस्वरूपं गकार पूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वार शान्त्यरूपम् बिन्दुरुत्तररूपं नादसन्धानं संहिता सन्धिः सैषा गणेशविद्या गणकऋषिः निःश्रुतगायत्री छन्दः गणपतिर्देवता ॐ गं गणपतये नमः एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ति प्रचोदयात् एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशमङ्कुशधारिणं हृदं च वरदं हस्तैर्बिभ्राणं मूषकध्वजं रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससं रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितं भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवं जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्टयाधौ प्रकृते पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः नमो रात्रपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रमथपतये नमस्ते अस्तु लम्बोदराय एकदन्ताय विघ्ननाशिने शिवसुताय श्रीवरदमूर्तये नमो नमः साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः மெதுவாக நம்முடைய கவனம் மூலாதாரத்துக்கு கொண்டு வருவோம் ஸ்ரீ குண்டலினி கௌரி மாதா மந்திரத்தை கூறுவோம் ஓம் त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कुंडलिनी गौरी माता साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः மெதுவாக சுஷும்னா வழியாக நம்மளுடைய கவனம் ஹிருதயத்துக்கு கொண்டு வருவோம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தாங்களே சாக்ஷாத் ஸ்ரீ துர்கா மாதா, ஸ்ரீ ஜெகதம்பா. தயவு செய்து எங்களுடைய ஹிருதயத்தை தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள் தாயே. தாங்களுடைய அன்பு பாதுகாப்பில் இருப்பதினால் நாங்கள் தைரியமும் தன்னம்பிக்கையோடு இருக்கிறோம். தங்களுடைய அன்பும் கருணையால் எங்களுடைய ஹிருதயத்தை பரிபூர்ணமாக்கி விடுங்கள். ஆத்மானுபவத்தை பெற எங்களுடைய ஹிருதயத்தை தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள் தாயே. மெதுவாக நம்முடைய கவனம் ஆகிய சக்கரத்துக்கு கொண்டு வருவோம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, தயவு செய்து எங்களுடைய ஆகிய சக்கரத்துக்குள் வாருங்கள். தாங்களுடைய ஏகாதச ருத்ர சக்தியை எங்களுக்குள் எழுந்து அருளுங்கள் தாயே. எல்லா விதமான எதிர்மறைகளையும் முழுமையாக நீக்கி விடுங்கள். ஆகிய சக்கரத்தை தூய்மைப்படுத்துங்கள். தாங்களுடைய சாம்ராஜ்யத்தில் எங்களுக்கு அனுமதியை தாருங்கள். அதற்கு தகுதியும் தந்தருளுங்கள் தாயே. மெதுவாக நம்முடைய கவனம் சகசிராரத்துக்கு கொண்டு வருவோம். ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, ஸ்ரீ சஹஸ்ரார சுவாமினி, சஹஜயோக பிரதாயினி, सर्व मंत्र सिद्धि प्रदायिनी, ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி, எங்களுடைய சகஸ்ராரத்துக்குள் வாருங்கள். சஹஸ்ர கமலத்தில் அமருங்கள். எங்களுடைய மனமார்ந்த வணக்கத்தை ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளுங்கள் தாயே. புஷ்ப தூப தீப நைவேத்தியத்தை ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளுங்கள். சகல சௌபாகியமும் பெற தாங்களிடம் ஒன்றினை நிலையை எங்களுக்கு தந்தருளுங்கள் தாயே. நம்முடைய கவனம் சகஸ்ராரத்தில் வைத்து தேவி கட்கமாலா ஸ்தோத்திரத்தை கூறுவோம். இது நம்மளுக்கு தர்ம அர்த்த காம மோட்சத்தை அளிக்கும் சக்தி இந்த ஸ்தோத்திரத்துக்கு உள்ளது. நம்முடைய சக்கரங்களும் தூய்மை அடையும். அமைதி, சேம, சௌக்கிய, ஆரோக்கியம் எல்லாமே பெற தேவியோட மணி தீபத்தை வர்ணிக்கும் ஸ்துதிக்கும் ஸ்தோத்திரம் இது. श्रीदेवी खड्गमाला स्तोत्रम्। ॐ ह्रीङ्कारातनगर्भितां नलशिखां सौं क्लीं कलां बिभ्रतीं सौवर्णामरधारिणीं वरसुधां धौतां त्रिनेत्रोज्ज्वलां वन्दे पुस्तकपाशमङ्कुशधरां स्रग्भूषितामुज्ज्वलां त्वां गौरीं त्रिपुरां परात्परकलां श्रीचक्रसञ्चारिणीम्। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं ऐं क्लीं सौं हूं नमस्त्रिपुरसुन्दरी हृदयदेवी शिरोदेवी शिखादेवी कवचदेवी नेत्रदेवी अस्त्रदेवी कामेश्वरी भगमालिनी नित्यक्लिन्ने भेरुण्डे वन्निवासिनी महावज्रेश्वरी शिवदूतित्वरिते कुलसुन्दरी नित्ये नीलपताके विजये सर्वमङ्गले ज्वालामालिनी चित्रे महानित्ये परमेश्वर परमेश्वरी नित्रेशमयी षष्ठीशमयी गुड्डीशमयी चर्यानाथमयी लोपामुद्रामयी अगस्त्यमयी कालतापशमयी धर्माचार्यमयी मुक्तकेशीश्वरमयी दीपकलानाथमयी विष्णुदेवमयी प्रभाकरदेवमयी तेजोदेवमयी मनोजदेवमयी कल्याणदेवमयी वासुदेवमयी रत्नदेवमयी श्रीरामानन्दमयी अनिमा सिद्धे लघिमा सिद्धे गरिमा सिद्धे महिमा सिद्धे ईशित्व सिद्धे वशित्व सिद्धे प्राकाम्य सिद्धे मुक्ति सिद्धे इच्छा सिद्धे प्राप्ति सिद्धे सर्वकाम सिद्धे ब्राह्मी माहेश्वरी कौमारी वैष्णवी वाराही माहेन्द्री चामुण्डे महालक्ष्मी सर्वसंशोभिनी सर्वविद्राविनी सर्वाकर्षिणी सर्ववशङ्करी सर्वोन्मादिनी सर्वमहाङ्कुशे सर्वखेचरी सर्वबीजे सर्वयोने सर्वत्रिखण्डे त्रैलोक्यमोहनचक्रस्वामिनी प्रगटयोगिनी कामाकर्षिणी बुद्ध्याकर्षिणी अहङ्काराकर्षिणी शब्दाकर्षिणी स्पर्शाकर्षिणी रूपाकर्षिणी रसाकर्षिणी गन्धाकर्षिणी चित्ताकर्षिणी धैर्याकर्षिणी स्मृत्याकर्षिणी नामाकर्षिणी बीजाकर्षिणी आत्माकर्षिणी अमृताकर्षिणी शरीराकर्षिणी सर्वाशा परिपूरक चक्रस्वामिनी गुप्तयोगिनी अनङ्गकुसुमे अनङ्गमेखले अनङ्गमदने अनङ्गमदनातुरे अनङ्गरेखे अनङ्गवेगिने अनङ्गाङ्कुशे अनङ्गमालिनी सर्वसंशोभनचक्रस्वामिनी गुप्तयोगिनी सर्वसम्मोहिनी सर्वविद्राविनी सर्वाकर्षिणी सर्वहल्लादिनी सर्वसम्मोहिनी सर्वस्तम्भिनी सर्वजृम्भिनी सर्ववशङ्करी सर्वरञ्जनी सर्वोन्मादिनी सर्वार्थसाधिके सर्वसम्पत्तिपूरणी सर्वमन्त्रमयी सर्वद्वन्द्वशयङ्करी सर्वसौभाग्यदायक चक्रस्वामिनी सम्प्रदाययोगिनी सर्वसिद्धिप्रदे सर्वसम्पत्प्रदे सर्वप्रियङ्करी सर्वमङ्गलकारिणी सर्वकामप्रदे सर्वदुःखविमोचिनी सर्वमृत्युप्रशमनी सर्वविघ्ननिवारिणी सर्वाङ्गसुन्दरी सर्वसौभाग्यदायिनी सर्वार्थसाधकचक्रस्वामिनी कुलोत्तीर्णयोगिनी सर्वज्ञे सर्वशक्ते सर्वैश्वर्यप्रदायिनी सर्वज्ञानमयी सर्वव्याधिविनाशिनी सर्वाधारस्वरूपे सर्वपापहरे सर्वरक्षास्वरूपिणी सर्वोप्सितफलप्रदे सर्वरक्षाकर चक्रस्वामिनी निगर्भयोगिनी वशिनी कामेश्वरी मोदिनी विमले अरुणे जैनी सर्वेश्वरी कौलिनी सर्वरोगहर चक्रस्वामिनी वानिनी चापिनी पाशिनी अंकुशिनी महामहेश्वरी महेश्वरी महाभगमालिनी सर्वसिद्धिप्रद चक्रस्वामिनी श्री महाभट्टारिके सर्वानंदमय चक्रस्वामिनी गुप्तयोगिनी त्रिपुरे त्रिपुरेशी त्रिपुरसुन्दरी त्रिपुरवासिनी त्रिपुराक्षी त्रिपुरमालिनी त्रिपुरासिद्धे त्रिपुराम्ब श्री महात्रिपुरसुन्दरी महामहेश्वरी महामहाराज्ञी महामहाशक्ते महामहागुप्ते महामहाज्ञप्ते महामहानन्दे महामहास्कन्दे महामहाशये महामहाश्री चक्रनगर साम्राज्ञी नमस्ते 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 नमः। साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। கவனம் சஹஸ்ராரத்தில் வைத்து சில நிமிடம் தியானத்தில் இருப்போம். ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி. கண்களை திறந்து ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி பொழிவை கேட்போம்.
I welcome all of you from abroad, and this Kolhapur is regarded as one of the deities' temple, which are 3.5 deities, or we can say 3.5 coils of the Kundalini. So it is said that in this triangular bone of Maharashtra, because it is surrounded by on all three sides by mountains, and the plateau is in the center. So all the three sides make a nice triangle. Is the Kundalini of the whole universe, of the whole world, is expressed by Mother Earth in Maharashtra. These are 3.5 energies which are coiled together. The first one is of Mahakali. This Mahakali power is expressed in Tuljapur as Bhavani, And Shivaji Maharaj used to come on a horse all the way for miles together to get the darshan of this Bhavani at Tuljapur. He knew this. And he had a sword which was called as Bhavani Talwar. And people said that the goddess herself has given this sword to him. Now the second one is Mahasaraswati. Is at Mahurgad. We always sing Mahurgadavari song, that is the one. Is Mahasaraswati, which is also called as Renuka Devi. That's the right-sided Mahasaraswati. Then the third one is Mahalakshmi. That is at Kolhapur. Here, a very bad demon called Kolasu was killed by the mother. So, this place is especially very holy for all of us because you got your realization as the Kundalini went through your Sushumna Nadi, which is being nourished by Mahalakshmi principle. So in the temple they sit down. It's a Mahalakshmi's temple, but they sing that, "Oh Ambe, please rise, please rise, please rise." This comes with the full understanding of the Sushumna Nadi. But 99.9% people don't know. Because all the knowledge about Shakti is being lost due to the different timings and people never worried about it. So one has to realize that in Indian Shastras, scriptures, Shakti is the most important thing. It is to be understood. Why? Because, say now, if you have a light or if you have fire, what is the power of fire? The power of fire can be that it can give you light, it can burn away things. But supposing it does not have its power, then who will care for fire? Nothing. So anybody who hasn't got the power of being the spirit, it is useless. So this power, this Shakti, has to be awakened within us because we do not have the power of the spirit. We have to have the power of the spirit. That's only possible if you get your self-realization. That is the reason it is very important that we should pay attention to our power. Now this power is made as the power of a mother. Mother is the most loving relationship. And through that relationship, all the love is expressed. That is why the Shakti is that of a mother. And affection, the love, the patience that mother has for her children, the Shakti too has the same powers. And that is how the Shakti never can harm you. Out of all these Shaktis, all these powers, the highest of all is what we call as the Kundalini, because without her you cannot get realization. But also we can say higher than that or complementary to that is Mahalakshmi power. Without the Mahalakshmi, you cannot rise. This is the ladder through which this power of Kundalini can rise. So both the powers are very important and very much related to each other. Mahalakshmi principle starts when we have finished with Lakshmi principle. Like in the West, people are fed up with affluence, fed up with all the riches and all that. So they are thinking, what have we achieved? We have gone into imbalances. So what should we do? We have to balance ourselves. So how do we balance ourselves? We have to have the knowledge of the spirit. That is called as Adhyatma. You have to know what is the knowledge of the spirit. And to know the knowledge of the spirit, Kundalini has to be awakened, and that you are to be connected to this all-pervading power. Once that happens, you just become one with that energy and you get transformation within yourself, because there is light, and in the light you can see all your problems, all your defects. And also if you know how to correct it, it's the easiest thing to do, is to get transformation in Sahaja. All of you have been very much transformed. And now I find it difficult even to recognize you, because all your faces are changed, your attitudes are changed, you look so different, so beautiful. Today it seems to be a special day for me here in Mahalakshmi temple, that Mahalakshmi is being awakened. And I am feeling really in that state of thoughtless awareness. I don't know how I'm talking. And I'm just in the meditative mode, absolutely into meditative mode. Because when you are in the center, you don't think. You are in meditation. That is why Mahalakshmi is very important. So when you are fed up, you can feel there's something missing, and then you take to Mahalakshmi principle. But in India, because of so many saints, we feel that we should short circuit it. First, let us develop our own Adhyatma. Let us develop our knowledge of Atma and then take to science. So there is no more imbalance within us. Because without the foundation of Adhyatma, knowledge of the spirit, you take to any kind of progress, you can topple down. That's why all the Western entrepreneurs, enterprises, and also projections of religion have gone to waste, because there has been no balance. It is important that we must have the balance within ourselves. Now in India we have people who have this idea, at least, that you have to rise higher than materialism, and that you have to become one with the Virata, part and parcel of the whole. This they know. And that's what, by knowing that, once they get to Sahaja Yoga, they grow very deeply. The depth they have achieved with this faith, that we have to be self-realized and that we have to feel the all-pervading power. This conviction itself gives them the depth. And so when they achieve realization, they just go down very deep. But most surprising, people who have never heard about Ganesha, who have never heard about Kolhapur, who have never heard about Mahalakshmi, are sometimes much, much better, much more deeper than the people who know all these things by heart. So one can deduct that those who know outwardly, those who know through their books or through some gurus who teach them something, are absolutely outside. They have nothing in them to tell us because they have had no experience of the self, no experience of the self. That's only possible when your Kundalini rises and breaks your Brahmarandra. That is the time the first experience comes to you of this all pervading power. So, all those people who have been only just praying to Mahalakshmi, have been going to her, doing lot of penances, fasting, this, that, have no idea as to what Mahalakshmi wants. And they always complain to me, Mother, we've done this, we have done that. People are very religious. They are doing all kinds of ritualism, what we call as karma kand. But with that, you do not reach where you have to reach. So one has to understand that whatever has been written and told about all these great things in India, people may know in words, but in experience they do not know. So Sahaja Yoga is very important to give them this experience so that they can really verify whatever is said in the science of spirituality about getting realization is absolutely true. Not only that, but it's very practical. And every person who gets realization can understand it very well. So we are here in a very holy place full of unholy people. But still, there are some very, very good people here also. And because of Mahalakshmi, they make very good ornaments because these ornaments are offered to the goddess. You can feel there a kind of a subdued feeling for God, feeling for spirituality. But they do not have the experience that you have got. So you are much higher than all of them. And those who have the experience can feel more once they go to the temple. You can go to the temple to see the place also. But give yourself a big bandhan because I have seen next to the deity, there are very funny people sitting. They're doing all kinds of commercial activities. They're selling flowers, they're selling this, selling everything. So you have to be careful with the bandhan, you can go and see for yourself. Now they say that this temple is made because it's a swambhu, it's the one that has come out of Mother Earth. You can see yourself if there are vibrations. And moreover, you must know that this puja of these deities are done by people who are not at all in any way religious, but are just commercial. Commercialism can never give you any satisfaction, can never give you at all any satisfaction. Apart from that, it can take you to something unknown, of dangerous shores. But if your faith is pure, without any greed, without any demands, then you develop your depth within yourself, which is very helpful after surgery. It's a remarkable thing how Sri Chakra is here and how they have made the complete calculation of Sri Chakra. I met a scientist in Russia, in Moscow, who has done a research, very much big research on this Sri Chakra. Now, so we have Sri Chakra on the right side, on the left hand side we have Lalita Chakra. So all the things that we do with hands after realization are worked through On the right hand side Sri Chakra, on the left hand side Lalita Chakra. Now, how it works is a very complicated thing. But we don't have to worry about that. As soon as you put your hand on somebody, the chakra knows how to work it out. It works by itself. As if it is a built-in mechanism within us, which knows what sort of vibrations to be given to a particular person for a particular cause or a particular purpose. If that person has certain defects also, these chakras know what is to be emitted, how to work it out. So, it is not that we have the Kundalini awakening, only these chakras are awakened. We also have these two chakras awakened within us because of Kundalini. But if you have Vishuddhi problem, then you can find that your hands are stiff and you cannot feel guidance, or we can say the divine intentions of realization. Because when you start using your hands, you don't feel any vibrations. So how will you know what's happening? It's a very complicated thing, and for that complicated thing, these instruments are made already, are prepared already. They are quite equipped with all the knowledge that is necessary, like a feedback as we call it, or we can call it a complete programming is there. So as soon as you put your hand on a person, the programming starts working it out. Because programming is done by God Almighty, it can never be wrong. There cannot be two different things as far as Sahajya is concerned. I have been thinking about writing about all these big pithas that are in India. So it will be helpful to you as well as to others in India. But here the atmosphere is so bad, as if to think of God, to talk of God is absolutely wrong. You cannot say. If people are in illusion and they think that all these talks has brought us nothing, to them it is the progress of the West is more effective, more apparent, that they can see how you have progressed in materialism. And they can't understand how we could progress with Adhyatma very much in the area of physical development or mental development. So now we come to a point where we realize that it is very important for all the Western people to have the foundation of Adhyatma. For that it is important to give up some of your conditionings, because this knowledge is coming definitely from India. I mean, the Indians had all the knowledge of your medical science, this science, that science, that science. But God's science is in India. And for that, what are you going to do? When the question of God's science is concerned, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to work it out? That this is the science of God. And the God science has to be understood with full dedication and devotion. Because of the conditioning of the Western influence, the Western progress, sometimes we just do not know how to grasp this knowledge within ourselves. Very difficult. But if you can understand that as for science, we had to accept it fully from the West. You have to accept the knowledge of your spirit from the East. East has the knowledge of the spirit. For that, you have to be ready to receive it. But if you are still in your arrogance, if you are still in your own conditionings, then you cannot do it. Like a boy who comes from a village, was never known about science. And he suddenly put him in a science college. He said, "What is this nonsense? What's all this on? I have never known these things. Why should I use a test tube? Why should I go in the laboratory?" All kinds of things he can start saying. And this conditioning is there. Then he'll run away from school within 1 year or 2 years, maybe earlier. And that is what I find is their conditioning. Which turns away many people from Sahaja Yoga after some time. So we must watch our conditionings, what sort of conditionings we have. While the Indians have conditionings of so-called religious beliefs and this ritualism, this, they are very much conditioned also. But it's easy to overcome that when you realize that whatever you are worshipping, for example, in India, everybody has a Kula Devata, means the family's goddess. Everybody has. They must worship that goddess, particular goddess, everybody has. So they have to, if they just ask, "Mother, are you that goddess?" the vibrations start to. So the conditioning gets very easily eradicated. But the mental acceptance of something is very difficult to go. And I've seen also when they get married or marriage is arranged, they go mental. They go mental. If you go mental, then you cannot understand many things. But if you are spiritual, then you can understand. For example, we see Mother Earth giving us these flowers and all that. How can we go mental about it? It's a living process. For any living process, we cannot get mental. So now you will say, all right, this is because the seed has got this and the seed is planted. But how? Why? That you can't answer. Can never answer. Then you'll keep quiet. But say, if there's a sage, he'll say, all right, this is Mother Earth. She wants to give to her children these flowers, fruits, these trees. So she's working it out. So one has to jump from one conditioning of materialism. Now you should see in matter, my energy never moves. Energy is stationary. It never moves. And also energies which are moving, so-called, like electricity, this, that, are absolutely blind. Supposing there is electricity here flowing, all right, well and good. But supposing somebody stops it, it will stop. It has no mind. It is a mindless thing. So in materialism, you become mindless. You start seeing also that within yourself, that you have become mindless. And becoming absolutely, I should say, like robot sometimes, which is mindless, which is fixed quantity. And I see very much clearly in the West, I've seen that people have very fixed ideas. It's difficult for them to get out of it because they don't have that movement towards the spiritual subtlety where one can use the mind to do something. We would say that Mother Earth has got the mind. No, that nobody can believe in the West, except for surgeons. That the Mother Earth produces these vigrahas. She produces these deities. Nobody will believe. How can you believe such a thing? That this mother earth thinks, that this mother earth produces these things? But logically you can see, logically. Say a tree has a certain height. The fruits have a certain shape, certain colors, flowers same. Who changes all the seasons? Especially in India, it's very clear cut 6 seasons. It's called as Ritambhara Pragya in the Hatha Yoga. Now, that is the one which is a lady which thinks. She has a mind of her own, she decides. And she works out everything. This concept was doubly denied in the West. First is that they cannot accept a goddess. Woman has no part. Right from Socrates onward, nobody has talked much about a woman, except of course there is Sakina and all that, but it's very minor roles they have. Greeks had goddesses who were just like human beings, so that also gets ruled out. And very little was accepted. And when Christianity came, some of the Christians saw to it that there should be no mention of the mother in any way. But despite that, people worshipped the mother. They worshipped the mother of Christ as some like a goddess. Though in the Bible she's talked as a woman in a very derogatory style. She's addressed. So the conditioning of people is about the power of God who hangs somewhere in the air. That He's there and that He gives us everything. But what is the communication? What is the justification or what is the logical thing? How to explain? So you have to say it is a mystery. God is a mystery, He hangs somewhere in the air, He does everything. And how can people believe in it? So the Christian conditioning has been even worse than, I think, Jew conditioning. Because they just took it out, Christ's mother away. Though the painters, artists wouldn't do that. They wouldn't accept. They had the mother there. But despite all that, the motherhood has not been respected that should have been in the Bible, which is a very wrong thing. While Mahalakshmi herself incarnated as Mother Mary. Herself. And to say about Mahalakshmi as a woman, I think is a great insult. And where women are insulted like this, where the goddesses are insulted, we cannot expect any spiritual growth unless and until you accept that is the Shakti, is the mother who is the only thing that's the communication between us and the divinity. So this conditioning, Christian conditioning, has to go out as far as the motherhood is concerned. It's very surprising sometimes when I see how these people are trying to bring down the level of a goddess to just a woman. So this is a very big blessing in India, that they respect mother as the Shakti. And that the whole thing is done by the movement of the Shakti, by the thinking of the Shakti, by the coordination and the understanding and the planning of the Shakti only. It's not done by God Almighty. He's just a spectator. She does everything. Once that concept can fit into your heads properly, then you will see so many conditionings will drop out. Because religion was organized, and in an organized religion you can put whatever you like, the way you want to put it. And it was such a big mistake. By that, people developed a lot of ego, lot of things against women. And also, the first sin, they call the original sin and all that, is because of a woman. They really ill-treated women, and they have no respect for them. So the women have changed their role, and instead of becoming mothers and goddesses, they have tried to become something like actresses. But you can understand that without the power, there is no sense in anything. And this is the power of love. And this is the power of truth. And once you get that power, you should humble down and know that this power is within us, which has given us all this knowledge, which has given us all this ability to raise the Kundalini. All this is because of energy within us, Shakti within us. Without that, we are nothing. And that too is the mother who has done it. I do not know how much to press this point, but it's important because I find, especially in England, some newspaper people came. How do you feel as a guru, as a woman? I mean, it's a kind of a thing, a woman, and as if I am sort of a that movement where women are starting a fight with the men, sort of a thing, and now this is another guru who is a woman, so she should be supported, or some sort of a nonsense. It's only the mother who does this job. So there's no question of asking such a question. But that's what it is, that we should first know that is the feminine quality of a woman as a mother is very powerful. But we should encourage it and try to develop it so that spiritually you can communicate, spiritually you can imbibe these qualities for your own children. The mothers who do not have adhyat can never develop good children with proper uh, emotions, with proper value system of morality.
ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி. கண்கள் மூடி சிறனவனம் தியானத்தில் இருக்கும். ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜி. கண்களை திறந்து ஸ்ரீ மாதாஜிக்கு நன்றியை கூறி நமஸ்காரம் பண்ணி குண்டலினி உயர்த்தி வந்தன் போட்டுக்கொண்டு